Before anything else begins, there's something you should know right away. Jonathan Roumie, the man who has become known around the world for portraying Jesus in the global hit series about the life of Christ, says the upcoming season is the hardest thing he has ever filmed in his entire career. And the reason he gives for that difficulty is powerful, emotional, and something you'll want to hear fully. But before we reach that moment, his conversation takes us through humor, faith, personal stories, and reflections that reveal why people feel so connected to him. As he walks in, the audience rises with warm applause. He smiles modestly, the way he always does, giving a simple thank you. He doesn't act like a celebrity. He feels like someone you've known for years. And instantly, someone asks about a very special moment he experienced this past summer, his meeting with the Pope. This is the kind of moment most people can only dream of, but he talks about it with humility and joy. Jonathan says the experience was amazing and unforgettable. He describes the Pope as kind, gentle, and extremely warm. In person, he mentions that the Pope is exactly as charming and friendly as he appears in public, which makes the meeting feel even more surreal in memory. He says it felt like meeting someone who genuinely cares about every person he encounters. It wasn't stiff or formal, it was natural, and that surprised him. Then someone asks a playful question: does the Pope watch the show? Jonathan laughs before sharing the Pope's first words to him. The Pope told him that his brother watches the show all the time, but he himself hasn't watched it yet. He promised he would though. Jonathan said he wasn't worried and joked that he brought a few DVDs to help him get started. The room bursts into laughter. Another host jokes that it was funny hearing the Pope say, "I have to confess," and Jonathan quickly responds that confession is one thing he definitely cannot assist the Pope with. More laughter fills the room, breaking the ice and setting a relaxed tone. The conversation shifts to something Jonathan has been deeply involved with: a special Advent challenge in collaboration with a popular prayer and meditation app. This challenge is meant for the 25 days leading up to Christmas. He explains that in a world filled with constant noise, stress, and tension, people need a way to calm their minds and prepare their hearts. The Advent Challenge is designed to give people a moment of stillness each day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Jonathan explains that the theme comes from a line in Psalm 46, "Be still and know that I am God." He describes how the challenge helps people pause and breathe, letting them feel a sense of peace. He says anyone can join, whether they are religious or not. Anyone who wants hope, quiet, or emotional rest can simply open the app and participate. It's designed to help people begin their day with calmness or end it with reflection. A host asks whether people need meditation experience to join. Jonathan smiles and admits that some people believe they can only meditate for a minute, but he insists that anyone can do it. He listened to the first day of the challenge, which he recorded alongside a nun named Sister Miriam. He says her voice is comforting and gentle, and it naturally guides people into a peaceful moment. What feels like 60 seconds quickly turns into 8 or 10 minutes. He tells the host that even she, with her busy mind, would be able to relax through it. Right after this, another host brings up something fans have been waiting for: updates on the new season of the show. She reminds Jonathan that he plays one of the most important and challenging roles imaginable. The new season will focus on the crucifixion, one of the most intense and emotional parts of the story. She mentions that Jonathan has said this season was the hardest work he has ever done. She asks why it was so difficult for him. Jonathan's expression shifts. He becomes quieter and thoughtful. He explains that any actor, when trying to portray a character truthfully, must enter that character's emotional world. But portraying Jesus during the crucifixion is a different level of emotional weight. He wasn't just acting out a historical event. He was trying to understand the physical pain, emotional suffering, and spiritual depth of that moment. He wasn't just reenacting a scene. He was stepping into something sacred. He says he prayed beforehand and asked God to allow him to understand even a small part of what that experience would have felt like. He believes God answered that prayer, but the answer was heavy. He felt emotional and psychological weight that stayed with him long after filming wrapped. He's still processing it today. When he talks about it, the room grows quiet. You can tell this wasn't just an acting challenge. It changed him. Another host gently asks him if he thinks he could have played this role the same way if he wasn't spiritual or religious. Jonathan answers without hesitation. He says no, it wouldn't have the same authenticity. His relationship with Jesus is what helps him express compassion, gentleness, and love in the character. It's his personal connection that makes the role meaningful. He says portraying Jesus has made him a better person and has inspired him to love others more deeply. The audience applauds, not loudly but warmly. Sensing how sincere he is, the conversation moves to the global impact of the show. One of the hosts asks if people have shared personal stories with him. Jonathan nods and says he hears stories all the time, and some of them stay with him for years. He explains that every few weeks, he randomly checks his Instagram messages even though he receives thousands. Recently, he chose 2 messages at random. Both messages came from lifelong atheists. These individuals had no interest in God or religion, but someone recommended the show, and watching it changed something inside them. Jonathan says something powerful. He says when God wants to reach someone, nothing can stop him. He says God will follow people, pursue them, and gently guide them. These 2 viewers began watching the show out of curiosity, then started reading the Bible, then visited churches for the first time. Eventually, both became Christian. Jonathan says stories like these humble him deeply because they remind him that the work he's doing touches real lives. After this emotional moment, someone shifts the tone with a lighter topic: Jonathan's recent feature in a fitness magazine. They joke about whether he ate extra bread and wine during training. Jonathan laughs and says it was actually less bread and wine. His preparation included months of disciplined exercise, strict dieting, and physical training. As they display their disbelief, another host jokes about how they had no idea Jesus could look so physically strong. The room fills with playful reactions, and Jonathan laughs shyly, saying the training required total commitment. One host leans toward him with a grin and says she respects his dedication, especially because she knows how difficult physical preparation can be. Jonathan gives a grateful smile. The audience responds with warm applause again, appreciating both his humility and the emotional weight of everything he shared. His presence feels grounded, sincere, and real. Whether he's joking about the Pope, explaining meditation, sharing spiritual reflections, or talking about physical training, he speaks with honesty. And that honesty is what keeps people listening.